Well, good afternoon. I'm setting out a challenge to myself. Posting YouTube videos every day. That means I'm going to pollute the airwaves with my thinking. Hello there. What a beautiful afternoon in Tassie. Let's have a look at the skies. Ooh, looks like a chemtrail. Yes. Even the insignificant, unimportant Tasmania gets a few chemtrails. Thank you. All right. Wonderful doings in Tasmania. All right. First things first. I'm going to try, well, no such thing as try, is it? You either do or you don't. The challenge is, and challenge is accepted, that me, Edwin Donella, of the Chile capital, I'm accepting a challenge to do daily YouTube videos. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be talking about, but there is a good chance that it's going to consist of economics, politics, stock market, crypto, agriculture, good food, and quite a few other highly controversial topics. One of these times, one of these takes will be perfect. Hello, and my name is Edwin. I am the guy that started Chile Capital. And today, I'm accepting a challenge. One daily YouTube update every day for at least 1 year. Let's see how I go. There will be many mistakes, many bloopers, many cringeworthy moments. But I hope you will forgive me and join me on this road. I've got some very interesting things to share. Like, for instance, what's the deal with the interest rates in Australia? They've gone up at the beginning of this week again, but it was not a surprise to me because, as the open secret is, Australian Reserve Bank, as well as all the other reserve banks around the world, what they do, they look at a 2-year bond yield, and if it starts running in whatever direction, that's the signal for the Reserve Bank to follow suit. So if that one goes up, the Reserve Bank then follows up by raising the rates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in my charting software, TradingView, what it's all about. So here we are looking at Australian 2-year government bond yield, and as we can see in the top right corner, it's showing 4.82%. And this is a daily chart. And in blue line, this is the official Reserve Bank of Australia interest rates, or interest rates set by Reserve Bank of Australia. And as you can see, it's at 4.1. Now, this is a daily chart. If you look at it here, you may not see it quite well as when you change into a weekly or even to a monthly. All right, even looking at it at the monthly level, all the way from the high interest rates in beginning of 1990s, when the interest rates were 17% officially, right? What you can possibly notice is that the 2-year interest rate leads the official decision made by the Reserve Bank of Australia. Here you can see it's falling and it's closely following that. Maybe it's best to see it in the weekly. Let's go back, scroll back to (1990s). All right, so 1990s, as you can see, this is a weekly. The rates, when they started moving down, the official rates even went ahead of them. But then they bottomed out, and as the rates turned, they followed that along. And look at that. So from then on, if the rates are not really doing anything, like here, 1995 July, going sideways, well, they weren't really doing much. And the rates started falling. This is a little bit ahead of itself, but see, it's following the rates sideways, not much action. Rates start to go up, they are following. Rates start to go down, they are following down. This is from year 2000. Very clear from the year 2000. What's happening after? Chasing the rate down, chasing the rates up, sideways. Chasing the rates up, sideways. Sideways. Sort of step climbing it there. I don't know what was going on here, but look at this. The GFC rates are plummeting, and the Reserve Bank is cutting rates in earnest. Then the rates flip and start going up. They were holding. They're going, is it really true? Have the rates turned? Oh, they've turned. Really, we have to go up. And they're following along, right? The rates in 2011 into 12 started falling. They're trying to catch up. Then there's a period of going sideways, catch up with the falling rates a little bit, then a little bit more, then sideways again. Quite a bit. This was unusual. They could have raised rates here, but they didn't. Maybe they've guessed what was going to happen. And look at that, look at that. So they went almost to zero. And then when the rates finally bottomed out and they're going up, they're chasing them up as hard as they can. The rates continue to go up. They had to raise again and again, and then sideways. Now they could have lowered the rates here and here, but they chose not to. But then the rates started to come down again, and then they saw the writing on the wall, and it went down, down, down. But then the rates flip. And what's happening now? The rates are going up. And now, what do we have now? Well, we have the American war with Iran. Well, I should say American and Israeli war with Iran. And as we all know, war of that scale brings inflation. It brings inflation. This conflict brings inflation from two sides. One is from an engineered shortage of crude oil and gas, LNG, and as well as excessive spend on the weapons and military industrial complex. So Americans are spending like crazy on the weapons and military, and on the other hand, we are getting economy getting destroyed by lack of oil. And oil is energy, and if you have no energy, the economy is not going to go anywhere. So what's happening? My goodness, the rates are going up, inflation is going to go up, and it's not really nothing to do with Australia as such, but it's mainly to do with crude oil not being available or being repriced for whatever reason, for whatever excuse. It's being repriced by a good chunk more. And as we all know, or if we don't know, we should know, that crude oil is the mother of all chemicals that leads into 45,000 different products. They make 45,000 different kind of products out of petroleum, out of crude oil. All the plastics, all the energy, jet fuel, etc., etc., all sorts of things. Everything comes from crude oil. If there was no crude oil, if there was no crude, the economy, there would be no economy. We would live in the dark ages. There would be no agriculture. There would be no food. So let's see what happens. Let's see how far the overlords will push this, and how soon we will end up on the UBI. Aye. So before we go, the final overview of this situation from technical analysis point of view, what do we see? Well, over the last couple of years, what we clearly see is a bull flag. So if we use parallel channel here on TradingView, you can see what happens. Look at it. This is like a parallel channel, which really is like a bull flag, because you have a move from the bottom of 0.01%, was it? Something like that. The low, 0.014%. It went all the way to the high here is 4.54%. So basically, what you have here is a major move from a major low to a high, then a consolidation period, and now we have clearly broken out of the consolidation period because of all the inflationary pressures that were not contained, and because of the USA-Israeli war with Iran. So we have oil shortages or oil crisis, whether it's manufactured or natural, doesn't matter. We know that the money is being spent on the weapons by the billions, and we know that we are being squeezed on the oil side, making all the goods more expensive. So what do we have here that we can expect? Well, normally when you have a big breakout and a consolidation pattern here like a bull flag, you expect to repeat the same pattern. So let's project this pattern. Where will it go to? So here we go, from the low to the high, and then you move it and you put it here. And now all we need to do is lower this chart and see what's the target. Oh my goodness, 783% by, what's the target here? November 27. So it is quite a normal expectation if the pattern repeats itself, we will be at official interest rates. Oh, sorry, not official interest rates, but two-year Australian government bonds yields should be around 7.8% by the end of November 2027. So a year and a half, 7.8%. But what will be the official interest rates from the Reserve Bank of Australia? Probably about 0.5% lower. So between 7.2 and 7.6, that would be a normal expectation. So yeah, that's what we can expect. That's a monthly view. So you can see where it is all going. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the Australian interest rates. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, even in the most unimportant state of Australia, we get sprayed. Gosh, they only used one airplane today, maybe two. Hello. Edwin here from Chile Capital. I read something very profound this week by a lady discussing a euthanasia case in Spain of a 22-year-old, I believe, who was paraplegic. She got really depressed, tried to kill herself because some men did some unspeakable things to her. And she felt like she didn't want to live. But the question is, or that was the question raised by this lady that wrote the article about it, is that what kind of choice are we making? Yes, all of us can be victims of circumstance, of bad luck, of really bad things that can happen to us and turn our situation, our life upside down and into unspeakable pain. But the choice we have is, do we hold ourselves victim once, or do we count ourselves and hold ourselves victim for life? I have made some bad decisions in my life. Some would say through stupidity. Others would say that I was gullible. Others would say that the consequences of my decision, I deserve them fully. Maybe so. But do I feel victim once and fight? Or do I feel that I'm going to be a victim for the rest of my life because of my stupid decision? It's a question. It's a difficult question. But I choose to fight. And I also recommend every one of you out there to fight. Now, why should you listen to Chile Capital? Because I have some common sense, good sense advice. And most people, once they hear those things, most people can recognize common sense. What we call in Australia the pub test. Does it pass the pub test? Haven't been to many pubs in my life. But yeah, they talk about some tests in the pub. What is that all about? Anyhow. So, got a funny story to share. When I was young and impressionable, some people said, oh, you should do an IQ test. So I went and did an IQ test with Mensa.org. Because I thought that they will tell me my IQ. This is the funny bit about the story. In the end, I got the answer and they quantified me in a certain percentage, but they didn't give me the exact IQ number. So I still don't know how high is my IQ, or was at that time. With age, IQ tends to diminish. So, when I was young, I had a very high IQ because I got admitted to Mensa. Very weird organization. Anyhow, the funny thing is that all the years down the track, I did succumb, terrible English. I did succumb to the fear-mongering, and I did shoot myself up with the help of a nurse with the experimental drug recently. Just one shot, which caused a few side effects, which sort of woke me up. It woke me up really, really good. I mean, really good. If you guys think that the government is on your side, yeah, my bad. I'm the idiot. Look, there's a lot of nice people that took the shot. So I'm gonna insist that I'm a nice person. But I was very, very silly, if not outright stupid. Didn't need to take the shot. Like a lot of other people, they were harassed and forced. I didn't need to. Never mind. I choose to fight. I will not maintain the mentality of the victim for life. Yes, I was a victim of my own stupidity and of the conspiracy to minimize the global population, which didn't really work out in the end, did it? Hello, I'm back again. It is absolutely magnificent. And now, let's have a look at the spray. No, 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 no. Come on. There it is in the sky. There it is. It's a long spray. Beautiful. You see? And what about over here? Here we have an old spray that's gone wide. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous, isn't it? I've come up with the new name for this. Architecture in the sky. They're building things when they can't do anything else. What are they gonna do when the jet fuel runs out in a couple of weeks? How are they gonna spray us all? Oh my goodness. So, you have a choice. Play the victim for life, or play the victim once and fight thereafter. I encourage everybody to stand up and do what you can to fight. That means whatever it means for everybody else. You have to decide how much you can commit, how much you can give, how much you can contribute. Is Australia important to you? Or maybe you should do what a lot of smart people are doing. Leave the West, leave Australia, pack up, take what you can and leave. Do you want to be the cattle or the sheep? These choices I face myself personally. I don't have an easy answer. Myself as well. I just don't have the answer for it. I don't know. Beautiful shells. Shells on this beach are really pretty. Yeah, I'll show you one. That's a nice one. Okay, so here it is, and I enunciate my challenge for 2026, for the rest of 2026, is to make YouTube videos daily. And I will be contributing on the topics of personal financial interest, i.e. family economics, budgeting, business economics, finance, as well as stock market and technical analysis on the stock market. And I hope also to bring a lot of interviews with clever people from around the world that will share how they, how they gain financial independence, how they got started and how they got to where they are. So that's my goal in short, I think. Things will change, things will develop. I want you to join me on this journey, as well as, if you can, support me in what way you can. That means maybe sharing this video, recommending it to your friends, and yeah, let's kick ass. I have a fair idea of where this is going, and we can take advantage of it. So we are not technically helpless lying on the ground. We can fight back. And to borrow a famous quote from probably the greatest actor in the world, Donald Trump, fight, fight, fight. And with that, I wish you well and see you tomorrow. Bye.